For more on this love story, let's bring in Mark Simone, WOR radio show host, Joe Concha, media politics columnist at The Messenger, and a Fox News contributor. This, by the way, Fani Willis and her paramour, that's what Greg Jarrett called it last night, boyfriend in common parlance. The guy was married for a lot of this, then he just now is getting a divorce. She's going to have to testify in the divorce. So, Mark, the Biden legal war may be stalled in Georgia.
Well, hey, this guy's doing work no American wants to do, dating Fani Willis and getting six. How bad is it when you got to give somebody $650,000 to go out with you?
To go out with you.
And this Fulton County has a horrible, horrible history. This is the same county that drummed up charges on Martin Luther King, put him in jail. And if not for John F. Kennedy calling and yelling and screaming, you never would have seen Martin Luther King again. And Georgia was so embarrassed, they expunged his record a couple of years ago, King. So this is the same thing all over again, persecution of a political opponent.
This is, Joe, it just strikes me, this is total corruption. That's what you got going here, total corruption. Now, what's very important to me, and I think it's going to be very important politically, this guy, this prosecutor, whatever his name is,
Nathan Wade.
Nathan Wade, thank you very much. The boyfriend, who has never prosecuted anything before in his life, right? He's never even prosecuted a ham sandwich at a local deli. But he met several times and got paid for the meetings with, wait for it, White House, Biden White House advisors.
White House counsel, yeah.
So we've all said that the Biden legal war against Trump, the shots are being called from the White House, and I just think this is a very important article on this.
I guess there goes that argument that the Biden administration is allowing these prosecutors to operate independently without any influence whatsoever.
Yeah.
And now we have the Georgia version of Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Great.
Oh,
right?
Right-o, right. Good point.
Who is Nathan Wade, by the way? Personal injury attorney. I think we call that ambulance chaser. And now he's going to try a case like this, getting paid $650,000, which, by the way, that's Georgian tax money. That's 3 times what Fani Willis makes, but it all comes back to her because they've taken vacations in Napa, 2 Caribbean cruises. I don't know who needs 2. You go on 1, you kind of get it at that point. Ritzy hotels in Florida. This is literally the essence of the swamp in action that Donald Trump's been talking about for years. And to your point, this will blow up just like no one takes Tish James seriously in New York or Alvin Bragg or Jack Smith because they don't look like serious prosecutors. They look like who they are, political operatives, Larry.
And, Mark, I want to talk about other stuff today, but I just think the fact that we know that this guy, who's never prosecuted anything, was, whatever he was, coached, consulting, I don't know. The White House was involved in this Georgia lawsuit against Trump and others. But I'm going to say the White House has been calling the shots on every one of these things. Not just the Justice Department, not just special prosecutor, not just special counsels in Washington, D.C. and in Florida, but in New York with Alvin Bragg and Letitia James, in Colorado to keep Trump off the ballot, in Maine to keep Trump off the ballot. In other words, I think there is a conspiracy here where the Biden White House is calling the shots in the legal war against Donald Trump, period. End of sentence.
And the Washington Post, New York Times will never investigate this. 2 8-hour meetings. If it was, there shouldn't even be a briefing with the White House. But if it was just a briefing, that's an 8-minute phone call. 8 hours twice, that's detailed planning. Have you ever had an 8-hour meeting about anything? That's very detailed planning. So Washington Post, New York Times, get to work, investigate this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's very important. I think this breaks open a lot of very interesting scenarios that were kind of hidden until now. I don't know. Anyway, let's just move on. Nikki Haley gaining ground because independents in New Hampshire, a lot of polls coming out. I mean, polls vary. They all jump around, stuff like that. But it looks like there's a huge push by Democratic donors and liberal Republican donors to get out the independent vote for Nikki Haley in New Hampshire.
CNN has her within single digits in the latest poll that has come out. The scenario that only works for Nikki Haley is if Ron DeSantis underperforms in Iowa and drops out because obviously in New Hampshire, he's something like 5th right now. And then that support, at least a lot of it, goes behind Haley. then the trick is, does Christie drop out? In other words, the only way she could even be remotely competitive with Trump moving forward beyond New Hampshire if it's a two-horse race between Trump and Haley. And if she gets close, then Trump can't say he's not going to debate anymore because he has such a big lead. And boy, wouldn't that be an interesting sight on television, Larry.
All these independents, you've said this, they're all from Boston, right? They're all from the Boston suburbs?
Yeah, most of the New Hampshire population's in the
libs.
southern half, and
They're
it's
libs.
very liberal. It's a suburb of Boston. It was a red state years ago. It's a purple state heading to total blue.
The Harvard state.
Yeah, it's a Harvard
The
state.
Harvard state. It's not good.
It's an
It's a
outlier.
DI state.
Yeah. If Christie leaves the race, he has no value politically.
It's a Majorca state.
But
No state's a Majorca state anymore. I'm sorry.
Christie's entertaining. He livened up the debate. Whether you like Vivek or not, he did liven up the debate. If you have just DeSantis and Nikki Haley, those two have put more people to sleep than Mike Lindell. That's going to be one slow hour.
Man. Joe Concha, you're an art connoisseur, and I wanted to raise another point that has surfaced recently, and that is it turns out Hunter Biden and his art dealer and his art consultants did, in fact, consult with the White House despite protestations to the negative and otherwise. Huh?
Yeah.
Really? This is another lie burning down?
As an art connoisseur, you have no idea how disappointing this is, because I thought this is the next Da Vinci, the next Monet, right? And instead, we have Hunter Biden on Capitol Hill today, where one reporter actually asked, what kind of crack do you prefer? Like, this is the reputation this person has at this point. But from an ethics perspective, this is rancid because it is. Hunter Biden knew 70% of the people that purchased his art, and many of them are Democratic donors. Again, the essence of the swamp.
Do you think these are political contributions? They're not because of the love of art and the pure beauty of his finger painting?
I know exactly what it is. In the 1950s, disc jockeys took payola, $10,000 to play a record. It was made illegal. They started to go to jail. Many of them set up art galleries. They'd hand you the card. You'd buy a painting for $10,000. Hunter Biden studied the history of rock and roll. I'm sure he read about that. That's where he got the idea.
Isn't he a clever chap? Pulling what he pulled this morning, too, which is going to hurt his father, it's going to hurt Democrats. Nobody wants to see this little spoiled rich
He broke
kid.
into Congress and stopped a proceeding. That's what the January 6 people are accused of.
Oh, it was an insurrection.
Yeah.
Why didn't I put that in my riff? I'm going to rewrite the riff. Hunter Biden's insurrection. You got to hand it to him. Mark Simone and Joe Concha, the best of the best. Joe, art connoisseur?
Art connoisseur. Either way, it's been a very bad 2024 for Joe Biden, right? I mean, now we have to have LoJacks on all of the cabinet members just to know where they are at a given time. I just dated myself the whole LoJack.
It's only a week old.